Welcome to I Studio. I'm wearing my Halloween apron because it's almost Halloween and I'm getting in the mood. So tonight we're going to talk about jelly prints. Sounds like a delicious Halloween candy, but actually it's not. It's a plate that we can use to make mono prints without a press. This is a very well used and well loved jelly plate. Which is actually my husband's. He does a lot more jelly plates than me, and I'm actually going to use some of his blocks. They're rubber blocks that he makes, and show you how that's done. And you can print so many things. These are so versatile. They're just a great tool. When you get the jelly plate, it comes in a plastic box. And it has a thin sheet of plastic on the back and the front of the jelly plate to preserve the jelly plate. And it's a good idea to keep that protective coating on the back. You won't need to take it off the back. So keep the protective coating on the back. Remove it from the front, and let's get started. Okay, so some of the things that you're going to need to make your jelly prints are the jelly plate, a variety of papers. I found a tissue paper in some kind of a packing box that arrived at my house. I love the quality of this. This is packing paper for dishes. This makes beautiful prints. I thought I'd try printing on top of a vintage magazine and see if I could kind of alter the images on this. This is a very brittle piece of paper. Oh, I think I picked it up off the street. I just love it for its brittle quality and its stains. And this is some kind of looks like a handmade cotton paper, and we can try this too. It's nice to have some kind of baby wipes or wipes to clean the plate. It just works beautifully. I've got couple of tubes of paint, various colors, and these are prints, they're cuts made on some kind of rubber. You can get these in Blick Art or any art store. They look like wood prints, but they're rubber and very, very easy to carve. This is a carving tool that you can also buy at Blick. It's very inexpensive. And the neat thing about it is all of the cutting tips are held within the handle of this little tool. So my husband just carves these with the carving tool, and I'm going to show you what they do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dab of paint on my jelly print. You can use the heavy body paints. Actually, the liquid paints work a bit better. But you can use the heavy body paints. You can use the acrylic printer's ink, works really well. I'm going to blend a little color here. Then I'm going to just take a brayer. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You don't want to get too much paint on the plate because it gets gloppy. So I've rolled a thin layer of paint. And then I'm going to take a couple of my husband's beautiful prints, and I'm just going to press them into the jelly plate. Doesn't look like much yet. I'm going to put the paper over the top of the plate. And I'm just going to press it with my hands. I allowed the paper to wrinkle because I'm going to use this for collage. The wrinkles are making an important pattern in the paper, and voila, interesting pattern. It almost looks like branches or something. It doesn't really look like the print would look if I just made a print of the block. Let's see the difference. There we go. Okay, that's the straight block print. So you can put it on a jelly plate and transfer it, or you can do a straight block print. What I'm doing is I'm making collage paper for my next projects that I'm going to embark on. When you have a brayer, this is a very soft brayer, and if I lay it like I just did face down, it's going to flatten the brayer, and then when you roll it, you're going to get that little bump, bump, bump where you flattened it out. So lay it on its back when it's resting, please. This is a painting that I've just finished using collage and some beautiful jelly plate prints here and here that I've made with the silk from corn husks. So I just peeled the corn, I inked up the plate, I laid the silk down and made prints on paper and then collaged them. I'm going to try putting a little bit of matte medium in with my paint. The paint seems a little thick to me. And like I said, it works out a little bit better if you use the liquid paint. So if you don't have liquid paint, put in a couple drops of medium. You get instant liquid paint, right? I'm going to take a stencil now, and I'm going to lay the stencil. I'm going to press the stencil into the jelly plate. See if I can get anything interesting with this. Let's take a magazine, put the magazine down, rub it firmly. You never know what you're going to get. That is very interesting. So I got the print of the flower, not in a huge amount of detail, over the top of this vintage magazine. So I think that would make a very nice piece of collage on one of my paintings. I'm just getting ready to start a new series. As you know, I just had a lot of shows and opportunities coming my way, and now I'm at that lull afterwards. So I'm preparing panels for a new series and, wondering if I want to be as ambitious as I was the last time with my 12 panels. I imagine I will. I still have a couple of small paintings to work on and finish. And tonight I just felt like fooling around with jelly plates and making some collage material for the future. So let's see what else we can do with the jelly plate. Now I'm wondering, this is all experimentation to me, but what if I took the stencil, put it on the jelly plate, and then what if I took a little paint and rolled it over the top of the stencil so it gets into the blank spaces of the stencil? Let's see how that might work. And I thought it worked a little better making it more liquid, so put in just a drop of the medium, and here we go. You will be the first to witness this technique, which I've never tried before. If you break out jelly plates with a group of people, it's amazing the creativity that people bring to this little medium. It's fun. I want to get a little bit more of the red over here. It's a little brighter. There's no wrong way to use the jelly plate, and I have seen beautiful results. Okay, let's see if we had any luck with this. Pull that up. And if you get a failed print, you can print it a second time. Layer the prints. Wow. I love that. So it's not so stencil-like, but it does have some pretty defined lines, which I love. This is a very old piece of cardboard, and this should make some interesting shapes on the jelly plate. So let's go ahead and ink up the jelly plate. I'm going to put a little bit more on this time. Press the cardboard right in. I like the cardboard. Wow, that's a beauty. So I just make tons and tons of collage papers before I like to start my series. Then I don't have to stop and make marks. I've already got them. Oh, this is a beautiful piece of rice paper. Let's see what we might do with this. Sometimes I like to make repeat patterns. Let's try that and get a bigger piece of collage paper. So, whoops, I just went a little way too crazy with that paint. Way too much. It's gotten gloppy the way I told you. You don't want it to be, where you can see the lines of the roller. Type of paper is going to accept the ink, the paint, differently. This is, like I said, a rice paper, and the first one I had almost too much paint on, but it's still usable. Can still get some good use out of that. Now you can make a ghost print, what they call a ghost print, which is your second print. Okay, this is the ghost print.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Chuck come over and demonstrate the jelly plates because he's actually a little better at this than I am.
As you can see, I've got a lot of this real nice vermilion red on this roller. So what I'll do is I'll load up the jelly print on one side with one color. Then I'll get a darker color in for a little bit of contrast. Since we're going to use maybe this paper here, it'd be really nice to have a little contrast. So we'll just squirt a little paint. You don't have to take much. You can always add more, you can't add less. So I will go ahead and roll this out. And we'll get a little bit of a contrasting color. You can see on the roller how it goes from one to the other. And on the jelly print, there's kind of a fade in as well. So I'll take probably a little bit larger object here, and I'll go ahead and stamp the jelly print. Now I can do this two ways. I can pick up the paint that's on here, and I can roll a little bit more. And then let's see, I can put the block right on the paper. Now, usually you can have another brayer handy that's dry and clean, and you can put a little bit more even pressure on, or you just knuckle it out here. Wow. Boy, it was so sticky it literally separated the paper.
So what I've been doing, because they're heavy body paints, I've been putting a little matte medium in with them.
Oh.
And that seems to work.
My mistake.
And that's a thin rice paper too.
Live and learn.
Let's try some vellum.
Yeah. This will be maybe a little bit more productive. Oh, you know what's nice about vellum is I can show you guys what I'm seeing here, which is really hard. Look at that. You can actually see the pattern coming through on the other side, which is really nice. Oh, voila.
Yeah, that vellum really picked it up beautifully, didn't it?
It's chroming, so I'd have to get angle. And then we have a ghost image here. If you're really feeling adventurous. And I always say pick up as many images as you can on paper because this really cleans the jelly plate and makes the cleanup a lot easier. Plus you get different ghost images and they're really good to collage later on. So you can see it really sticks. Look at this beautiful ghost image.
So, like I said, we're making papers for collaging. So we don't have to worry about the edges, lining them up, getting them perfect. This is kind of the quick and dirty jelly plate for strictly making collage papers for your paintings. If you want to make jelly prints that you could actually frame and they'd be complete works of art, then you'd line them up more carefully. This jelly plate's a little bit warped and misshapen. You might want to upgrade your jelly plate a little bit, but this one works perfectly for what we're doing. Chuck also uses jelly plates in his plaster, right?
Yes. Yeah, I use it to transfer Venetian plaster from the blocks onto another plaster base. Then I can sand those images in, or I can use them as a reveal, and I can pull, a leaf. Then I can pull another thin layer over the top where it just barely shows through and sand back into it.
You're going to have to demonstrate that because I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a little bit more involved process. And you know, I may do that since I need to make another plaster video. I'll have to do that.
And like I said, the jelly plates clean up easily. I love using wipes, especially if you're really getting into, making an afternoon of doing jelly plates and you don't want to run to the sink every time and wash it. But these do wash in the sink underwater. Soap and water will clean it beautifully. And that's it for the jelly plates. That's the tip of the iceberg for the jelly plates. I guarantee you there's so much more that you can do with these. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Happy Halloween, happy fall, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep. Goodbye. Thanks for sharing.
Remember, painting is a practice and practice makes perfect. So you're going to want to go to your studio and practice. Okay, bye.